It's time for Harvestfest 2023 with Bishop Alvernis L. Johnson and Kingdom Life Ministries, 310 South Jefferson Avenue, Saginaw. The conference kicks off Wednesday, October 4th at 7 p.m. with the Episcopal Celebration Service featuring Bishop Don W. Shelby Jr., jurisdictional prelate.
I ain't gonna lose like this. If I lose, I'm gonna lose fighting. If I lose, I'm gonna lose giving it everything I got. But the devil is a liar, because no weapon that's formed against me be able to prosper. And every I said every I said every tongue that rises against me, loose your whole devil. You ain't got no play here. Loose your whole devil. You ain't getting free rent in my mind. Get out of my head. Get out of my thoughts. Get out of my heart. Satan, the Lord rebuke you.
Thursday, October 5th, 8 a.m. Morning Glory. 1 p.m. Speaker, Apostle Cynthia Thompson.
This was not just another meeting to be a meeting. God said, but I was gathering people into a summit. I brought you here for an ascension, because when you leave out of this particular service and this meeting, you're going home to build. Say build. You're going home. Oh, I hear the Lord say there are several of you in here today. Even right now, you are at one more push, and what's in you are about to come forth. And that's why God said you are already in the labor room. Say the labor room. God said this is a labor room, and I drew you here to get you in position, to get stuff out of your heart, to get stuff that's been blocking your mind from thinking of higher things. God said, I'm turning up the frequency. I'm causing you to hear from another dimension, because what you are carrying is too valuable in this season. He said, I made you leave from people who tried to abort your baby, abort your purpose. He says, but this is the season where I'm activating. Say activate. The Lord say there is a spirit in here today to activate everybody in this place.
At 7 p.m., celebrate with Bishop Paul S. Morton Sr.
But one day I heard the voice of Jesus say, come unto me and rest, lay down, thy weary one, lay down. Thy head upon that rest. Some of y'all remember, you know what I'm talking about. I came to teach. Since I was weary, worn and sad, but I found in him a sweet old resting place, and he has made me glad. Now don't wait till the battle is over.
On Friday, October 6th, the celebration continues at 8 a.m. for Morning Glory. 1 p.m., Apostle James Glenn. At 7 p.m., it's the Harvest Night Prophetic Flow featuring KLM Praise Team and guests. Saturday, October 7th, 10 a.m. Brunch with the Bishop. 12 noon workshop series. Each requires registration at harvest-fest.org to register. Sunday, 9:45 a.m., closeout t-shirt service featuring Bishop Alvernis L. Johnson, conference host.
Shout it right now. I'm not concerned about the future. I'm not concerned about tomorrow. Who even knows about tomorrow? It's not promised to me. But right now, I will maximize on the anointing that I feel. Right now, I'm going to soak up everything that God's pouring out. Shout it right now. Shout it right now.
All services held at Kingdom Life Ministries, 310 South Jefferson Avenue, Saginaw. Bishop Alvernis L. Johnson, host pastor.
Well, my friends, right now is the time. Right now is the day. We are in a great moment with God. I don't know, like I am absolutely stoked about Harvest Fest 2023. I really believe it's our greatest year. I'm sitting right now at Harvest Fest Central. We are busy every around this time. Our church is absolutely jumping. There are people in every single room making things happen. And so I took out some time to come holler at you guys tonight because I want to connect with you as we have been doing on our countdown. Now we are literally just a day and a half away, like tomorrow, and then like the rest of this day, and then boom, we are at Harvestfest 2023. I want you to do me a favor, go ahead and share. Many of you already done that, and I want to thank you for sharing, but share. I have a special guest coming on in just a moment, but I want you guys to share, and make sure that we get everybody in the room. It's going to be a fantastic time. All right, tonight I have a very special guest. I'll bring on in a minute. Hey, Brother Craig, good to see you tonight. I look forward to seeing you all on Wednesday. Melissa, good to have you tonight. All right, Sonia, all the way from Jersey. Hey, Sonia, good to see you again tonight. Evangelist Davidia White, good to see you tonight. All right, come on in. Dr. Simona Perry, hello. Beatrice Cooper, hello. Amen. Let me know. Why don't you do me a favor and tell me where you're watching from? Tell me where you're joining me from tonight. We have already 7 states registered for Harvestfest 2023. I'm going to try to name these states without missing any of them. We have Missouri, we have Texas, we have Georgia, we have Ohio, we have Indiana, Illinois, Jersey, Pennsylvania. So that's 8. So it's over 7. All right, Pennsylvania, Mississippi. Right, that's 9. It's 9. Who else did I miss? Only put it in a chat if I missed it. All right, so there's 9 states that we have represented. Oh, Oakland, okay, California. Did I say California? I might not have said it. Okay, so California. Hey, y'all here tonight? Now, next year we are reaching out, and we really believe in go international. We had a bishop trying to get here this year from South Africa, Johannesburg, South Africa, Rustenburg, South Africa, and Lotus Garden. And so we're working on their, getting their situations where they can come next year. But it's a great time. And I'm excited about all of you. Now, of course, we're going to have Michigan in the house, right? You know that they're coming from all over Michigan. And the hotel block is now closed. That went really well. I heard the other day that we have 47 delegates coming from Missouri. That is amazing. Shout out to Missouri for making that happen. And we're looking forward to hosting you guys. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful time you don't want to miss. Now, you've already heard who's coming. Bishop Paul S. Morton. What an honor. What an honor to have this man of God, a father in the faith, sharing with us this year in Harvest. Last year, we had Bishop Tudor Bismarck. The Lord spoke to my heart for years ago, fathers. And so we've been doing our best to reach out to these fathers, and they've been responding in a very, very positive way. So Bishop Morton will be here on Thursday night. And don't forget, on Thursday afternoon, Cynthia Thompson, that's all I can say is her name. I promise you, because I'm not getting ready to make this show about her. But my God, you want to be here for Cynthia Thompson. It's going to be an amazing, amazing time. Of course, my own Bishop Dunn W. Shelby, will kick us off on Wednesday. Don't want to forget that. And he always has the right now word. We're so excited about him being here. Apostle James Glenn, again, another man of God who brings it strong every single. He's only missed 1 year of Harvest Fest, but he's back this year, and we're excited about what he had to say on Friday afternoon. Thursday and Friday, Morning Glory, in person only. And I'm not getting ready to apologize for that. You have to be here to experience Morning Glory. It will not be broadcast because of the nature of that service. I mean, we go in, and we just don't think the cameras are a proper place for that. So I'll see you in the house on Monday. I'm sorry, I said Monday because I saw the M. I'll see you in the house on Thursday and Friday for Morning Glory. All right, great. And don't forget, we have great psalmists coming this year. We have 4 exciting guests coming. We have Ingrid Spencer, Tanya Ray, Layla, and then Dana Bass. And so, and our own praise team will be here. Now, they are absolutely phenomenal. And they lead us in worship every Sunday. And so we're spotlighting them this year. It's going to be great. We have a special choir on Wednesday night, the celebration choir. Now, y'all know I'm a choir guy, so y'all know that. So I won't be directing, but I'll be directing on the side. So that's the night prior elevation. Thank you for being a part of that. Many of you have responded. The RGPs have been wonderful, so we're excited about that. But tonight, I have in the studio with me a sister. Listen, this is what you call a constant friend. The Bible says a friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. Well, sisters are born for that too, because these sisters ain't no joke. They know how to get taken care of. I'm so appreciative that God allowed me the opportunity to share. Now, this particular guest that I'm introducing will be ministering on Saturday, and we have a wonderful forum that we put together, and you're gonna really enjoy it. Very interactive, and the registration has been wonderful. Thank you guys for registering for that, and I can't wait to get in that session with you with my dear sister. She's here tonight, and when I tell you, there are some people who say they're busy because they want to be busy and seem busy. Then there are people that are really busy, and so this is one of the people that's really busy. She got to make it up. I talk to people all the time who try to match energy. Oh, I'm doing something too. Oh yeah, I know that's right, and they ain't doing nothing. But this lady right here is always busy. I'm so excited that she was able to take out. First of all, to be here. She's actually coming. I told y'all last year, and we had to change some stuff. But this year, there will be no stand-in. There will be no substitute. Amen. The one and the only Cindy Flowers will be here, and I'm excited. She's here tonight. I'm going to bring her on now. This is my sister. She is. I'm gonna, because her title at Perfecting Church has changed recently. Well, I mean, that 2 years. Let me just give a history. I remember the day that she called me and said, "You're not going to believe this," and I was like, "What?" She said, "You're not going to believe who called me." I said, "What?" She said, "Marva Elwine is to be the secretary of Perfecting Church." I was like, "What?" She was 17 years old. I'm like fresh out of high school, probably about to graduate. It was amazing time, and from that time, she has grown in her responsibilities in administration to chief executive officer, running the whole. I mean, when I tell you, well, let me just say, I call her the Oprah of our family because her style, her class, her dignity, and her get it done anointing is second to none. Please help me welcome to Harvest Fest Countdown my sister, my dear friend for most of all of my life, Cindy Flowers. Hey,
Hi,
Cindy.
Bishop. My bishop and my brother. Yes.
I am so excited to have you here. And you already know, because I mean, we got this thing. Having her, I've been pastoring now for 24 years here in Saginaw area. It's don't seem that long, but it has. And every single year, Chantel and I sit somewhere, whether at a restaurant or home, saying, we got to get Cindy, got to get Cindy, got to get Cindy. It didn't just start here the last few years when we were reaching out. Our admonition for you and love for you and desire for you to come has been since the beginning, because I can tell people stories that a lot of people don't know. Cindy didn't just become professional. She's been professional since we were kids. She was so professional as a kid. Like, she was down her teeth, down her eyes, because her teeth way back when. I mean, for real. So welcome.
But like the first time you almost made me for work. Almost made me late for work, and I wasn't having it.
I remember. You were not playing. She was working at the middle school. You was not playing with me and Nate. You was not playing with us. So she came out there with her asset case, her briefcase. She ready to go. She got stuff to do. Y'all playing. Y'all ain't doing nothing. But y'all like, I'm doing something. And we're so very proud of what you're doing. But first, let me start by getting your official title now at the church, because I know you went to different ranks.
My official title is Chief Operating Officer. Chief Operating Officer.
Excellent.
Yes.
So
let me just say before you go into, I want to say how honored I am to be here tonight, and how honored I am to be a part of Harvest Fest, because again, we can talk about way back when, Bishop, but I mean, I am, as your sister and as just someone who has watched you over the years, you know, for lack of a better word, become who you are today. I'm so proud of you. And I say that in a, you know, I mean, we joke and we're going to joke tonight, talk, but Bishop, I'm so proud of you. I mean, just to know, you know, from whence we have all come, you know, to this day, I mean, God has really blessed, and I'm really honored to be a part of what's going on. It's you know, I'm happy to finally get to Saginaw. Can't wait to get there. But I'm just super blessed to be a part of what's going on with you and where God has elevated you.
Well, you know, the Bible says iron sharpens iron, so a man sharpens his friend. And so all of our lives and maturing as young people and then adults and now getting into the prime of our life, we've been there to sharpen each other, and it's been because of my sisters like you that I wanted to do better, right? I wanted to keep striving for excellence because it was expected of me. I had support, from you guys, and so it made me want to do better. Like even those times where life was uncertain, and you was making those mistakes, and then hearing truth in love, not put down, not run down, but just truth in love. Like, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Hey, it doesn't look right. Hey, try this. It has been a wonderful addition to my life, and so I owe a part of who I am to my village. To which you are a great part of my village, and so I'm glad. People are saying they can't wait for the session. Y'all don't even know, like she is so real, like just, and I've loved that because her whole life she's not changed. She's real at the core, just real. It's like there's no facades. You don't have to try to figure it out and wonder who she is today. Always the same, always about business, but loving and kind. And people don't even know. People who don't know her don't know how much fun she is. They don't know because they don't know. To see her laugh, oh, she laughed. Do she laugh? Baby, let me tell you something. This is one of the most fun people to be around. But when time for business, she's about business. And so let's jump into some things tonight because Mom's on here. She's saying, I gotta pause.
Hi, Mom. I saw her. I almost interrupted you when I saw her comment. I was like, that's my mama. Hi, Mom. Right. I love her with her cute self. Hey, Mom. I can't wait to see you this weekend.
Let me tell you something. And she, I'm gonna make sure, because Elder Clifton came up here for weeks ago and preached for us and got some greens and have been on my heels about freezing some greens up and sending them down there. This lady,
I tried to come when he preached. She's still throwing down, so she gonna remember her daughter is coming this week.
Amen. There's the plug. Amen. It's already done.
Right.
So,
but to your point though, and of course this would be one of the things we'll talk about. I mean, like you said, the people's perception, that was one of the things, we'll talk about a whole lot of stuff on Saturday. But, honestly, as far as people's perception, like, do she laugh? Is she so serious? That was one of the things I had to literally work on, because when you keep hearing the same thing over and over, it's good to be, taken as serious and things like that. But one thing that kind of I had to adjust over the years was the fact that people, because they didn't know me, they did have a perception of, cold, hard, unapproachable. So even though you have to be business-like, you still have to be likable, because if not, you're ineffective. Because people won't be, you can't help people if they can't receive anything from you because you're not perceived as a likable person, So that was literally something that I had to, turn that mirror on myself and be like, okay, now hold on, you business, but now do people actually, what is their perception of you? So that is important.
I'm glad you said that, because I think a lot of times in ministry, because you do have such a heavy weight and a heavy assignment, and I'm speaking now from the aspect of the person working, a lot of times they feel as though they have to put those barriers between them and people and can't be personable because they won't be respected. But when your work speaks for what you do, when you actually get things done, people respect you for your work's sake, not for your attitude or for your disposition, but for what you do. And so if anybody gets close to any of us who have that serious determination to get things done, they'll find that we're people, that we're actually people who like macaroni and cheese and Cheerios, and but when it's time for business, though, I think people don't know how sometimes to separate. When I'm your supervisor, we're not at Cracker Barrel talking about we at work. So just talk a little bit about how that transition from being personable and then having to switch over to a very workplace like atmosphere.
So again, I think it's all about just being authentic all the time. If I'm authentic all the time, then I don't have to remember, okay, this is serious, Cindy. If I'm authentic, whether I'm taking care of business or whether we're hanging out at Cracker Barrel, my true me should always be on display. There shouldn't be three different Cindys: church Cindy, work Cindy and fun Cindy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you have all those different traits as far as what you're displaying at that time. Like it ain't always time to laugh and joke, but who I am should be consistent all the time. And so again, I can be, so even when I'm serious or when I'm having fun, I'm still honest as to who I am. So that's whatever I say or whatever I'm trying to get you to understand, it should still be acceptable because I'm still saying it all in truth. You know, it shouldn't be false. You should always be authentic all the time.
That's good.
So I can laugh with you and be like, wow, like you're about to get fired. Or I could be joking like, oh, it ain't looking good. Like, all right, you need to step it up now. You heard what I said, ha ha ha. But I'm real serious right about now. Or I can, at that same time call you in and say, hey, like we've had this conversation several times. And if it's your desire to still be in this position, I'm gonna need you to, to step it up and to improve. But whatever way I'm giving that out, I'm still being authentic in my presentation.
I love that. And here's the thing, I think that a lot of times, because we have been prone to split our personalities sometimes. People do have that church man, that work guy, and then that fun, how we do that. I love it because there was a Pastor Curlin, I don't know if you remember him, years ago. He gave a message and he said, whatever you are, it's in everything you do. So whatever you are, it shows up in all you do, in your food, in your drink. So if you cooking me some greens and you got a bad spirit, it's gonna be in them greens.
Mm-hmm.
If your attitude, it carries over. So being true to who we are, I think allows people to accept us. And then the whole critiquing that we have to do. And I don't want to jump too much into our session because that's for Saturday, but I do want to ask this question. I want to ask the question because when you're working in church, and we can do it again Saturday, but it's been on my heart for years. When working in the ministry, to me, I'll be transparent. One of my hardest things is firing people. I have a hard time now. In my mind, I can do it. Like in the mirror, I'm real sharp. And if you catch me on a good day, I can do it in your face. But when I come to that moment where I have to say, "You out of here," and how can I still be that person's pastor? That's been my choice. Now I've done it. We fired people, but it was the hardest thing to do.
Well, that's because you shouldn't be the one doing it. So to me, in my opinion, a pastor, because you do have to be the shepherd of these people, right? So in my opinion, you shouldn't be the heavy. You should have a somebody that actually, even though at the end of the day, everybody knows where all the decisions come from. They know it comes from the pastor. But because these people have to receive from you on a daily basis, it is kind of hard, accepting that from their pastor. But that's why you need somebody who has your spirit that would actually do that for you. And if I'm doing it in the spirit of my pastor, it's still going to be palatable, but they don't have to come hear me preach every Sunday. They have to come hear you preach. So you as the pastor shouldn't be the one that's doing that type of heavy lifting. You should have somebody that's speaking on your behalf.
Thank you. So that's my wife. She's showing her love. So
hey, okay, Lady Chantel.
Okay, so I have a follow-up question for that. And I'm not going to turn this into my personal therapy session, I promise. But let me say this. We have levels here. So there are certain levels where people who are in certain departments run those departments. But when it comes to like key people, is where I like that nobody can fire them because I'm the one hiring them. Like this is a person that's don't have nobody over them but me.
Okay, like a ministry, like a ministry leader or something like that.
Right. Yeah. Or like my personal assistant. And this ain't to nobody current. I want nobody get nervous.
Right, I understand. Oh Lord, did he just say I'm about to get fired?
right. I'm in a good place right now.
So somebody may not. Bishop, you don't fire people, and here's one reason why I don't feel because people fire themselves. It's not you firing anybody. People fire
Please say that one more time.
themselves.
Good.
So
Wow,
it's not you
that's good.
firing anybody, because here's the thing. When you hired a person, you never hired them with, having them sign on and sign their resignation at the same time. So you only hired them for them to be there. So if they're not working out, that's because of something that's going on. So again, it's back to that being authentic, right? If you're being authentic, you're having conversations along the way. Something happened, it's like, okay, now this happened, you're going to have a conversation. Shouldn't happen again. Happens again, then you're going to have probably a written some, okay, now, or this is what I'm not seeing. You got to step it up, So you're giving a person opportunities. I mean, you're not a good boss if you just walk in one day and just tell a person, you're fired. There should be conversations along the way where they've had the opportunity to improve. And your thing is, if you want to stay here, now this is what I need to see. Or, hey, I'm letting you know now, it's not looking good. It ain't looking good for you. I tell people, when you start seeing certain signs, start looking for a job. When you start seeing certain things happen around this environment, start looking. It ain't looking good for you. And I say that. So when it's all said and done, by the time, if you're actually at that point where you're getting dismissed, or I call it released into your next destination, you're actually being released to what you really are meant to do. Because this is not it. So I'm really releasing you into what you should be doing. So when you're at that point, you've already had the conversation. So really, it's not me firing you. You're firing yourself because you didn't do the things that you were supposed to do. So at that point, it makes it a little bit easier. I think people feel bad when they've not handled situations the correct way. Now, you should be a little restless or have a little trouble sleeping at night if you didn't give a person the opportunity. Like, what I'm saying, if you see a person not producing, or if you see them doing things the wrong way, you never say anything. And then when they get to the straw that broke the camel's back, and you release them and you fire them, then to me, you should feel something should gnaw at you, because you as the leader or as the boss or as the supervisor, you didn't do your due diligence. A person should never be surprised when they're fired. They should never be surprised. They should be like, yeah, I knew that was coming.
Yep. Now, see, I told y'all that we had the consummate professional on here. I'm not getting ready to let her give all the goods out tonight, but I told y'all that she was the quintessential, rather, because did y'all hear how that just rolled off? Did you hear? She has no notes. She's not looking at any cue cards because she's lived this for, my God, it's over 30 years.
I've been
past the 30-year mark.
34
years. Now, yeah. I remember this, and you don't have to talk about it if you want to, but I remember that when you first started at Perfecting, it was supposed to be for a limited period of time. And like to go to school and finish school and then give a couple years back to the church and then you move on. What happened?
So my goal, you and my dream, because the show out there was hotel. I wanted to be a general manager of a hotel. I told you that.
Yep.
That's what I wanted to do. And the Lord took over, literally. I mean, the Lord he took over my plans. He took over my life. And I even told, because again, in our earlier days at Perfecting, when Pastor said we was getting an office, I was like, an office for what? We only got 8 members. What we need an office for? But his vision was way bigger than mine. He saw way, a lot more than what I did. And even I remember early on, I told him, I was like, I don't want to just answer your phones for the rest of my life. And because that's all that I saw at the time. And the rebuke I got for making that statement. Because this thing was, if that's all you see, then you can leave right now, because that's not all what I see. So much of what you do, if it don't line, and with going into Saturday, but my vision, I have to connect with my leader's vision. Because if I don't see what he sees, then we already got conflict.
Absolutely. But you know what? And again, I'm doing my best to stay away from Saturday. That's why I went that way. But let me say, because there are people watching now. We got about 40 people online now watching. And a lot of people come into a ministry with their own vision, and they don't know that point that you met where you allow that wheel to be turned over to God's will, and you never miss a beat. Could you just let them know that even though you didn't go into the hotel industry, you've not missed a beat? Your life still is, well, you know what your life is. You can say it.
Yeah. I didn't go into the hotel industry, and some days when I talk about, I wish, I don't want to answer your phones for the rest of my life. I wish I can get them phones back, them phones only days back.
Right.
Because the reward, I guess, of doing a good job is getting another job. So I went from, of course, secretary to office manager to church administrator to general manager. Now my official title, and for whatever titles mean, I'm COO. Right. So what that means is my job to make whatever Pastor Winans, Bishop Winans, whatever he dreams, is my job to make that vision come to pass. So that's my hat on the church side. And then we have Perfecting Fellowship International, where I don't even know what my title is in that. I just do whatever needs to be done, put the conferences together, convocation, run the regionals, help the pastors, that's in PFI become, build stronger churches. And then we have our CDC, run the CDC, our Community Development Corporation. We're building a $35 million project on 7 Mile and Woodward, which, of course, spearheading that project along with, the team that we put together. And then we have our schools, our charter school, Rutherford Winans Charter School. We had the Marvin Winans Academy, the Marvin Winans Academy of Performing Arts for 25 years, up to this present year, 25 years that we had the school. And we have a management company that runs that. So at the end of the day, I don't know what the general manager thing just kind of, it just went away because all of these other things, but they all are, of course, in business, allowing me to do what I learned. But literally, God was my instructor, and he just downloaded all of these things and still downloads all of these, how do you get it done? The method, the process, the ideas, the strategies. I mean, I give God the glory because it's like he just took it. He took what I thought what I was going to do as far as the general manager of a hotel, and he turned it into just managing all these different areas of ministry. So it's pretty. If you look back and if I sit back and look at it, I probably get a little overwhelmed, but you can't. You just got to keep working.
You got to keep working. Let me jump in here and say this because, first of all, everybody who's watching it, the numbers are going up here. Thank y'all for sharing. You can register for the session this coming Saturday. Now, I'm not going to go into the session because I want you guys to get it fresh that night. So when I come back, I'm going to ask a question in a different way. We're going to kind of move the conversation in a different direction. So I want you to experience tonight what it means to be a servant, what it means to be faithful in another man's work. When the Bible talks about, moreover, it's required in a steward that man be found faithful. I'm going to talk about that because a lot of people don't understand how helping others really does elevate you. And so oh my God. I'm going to hit that. But before I do that, you can register. Now, we've done some stuff we've never done before. As many people to get in this workshop as possible. Last year, we had workshops going on simultaneously. But people said, well, no, we want to be in the other work. So now we split them up. And so now people can attend many of them and throughout the day. But for $49, we're making this a special, I think it's called a doorbuster. For $49, you can attend both sessions. You can attend the 7 Mile Mandate. You can also attend the workshop with Cindy Flowers. And for $10 extra, you can come to the brunch with the bishop. That's at 10 a.m. So
Bishop, that is and I'm not saying that just because I'm on here. That is like an incredible deal. To register for 2 workshops and brunch?
Yeah, $10 extra, they can have all 3. So for $59, you can come to the brunch. And that brunch is, I'll be ministering on the 7 secrets of harvesting, successful harvesting. And you, trust me,
I saw that, and I'm registering because I'm coming to the brunch. I want to hear that. I'm registering. I'm coming to the brunch.
Thank you, Candace. She's put it up there now. Go to www. Thank you, Rochelle. www. I'm still old-fashioned. Harvestfest harvest-fest.org. I always say www. They say you don't have to say art anymore. Okay, but I like to say it. www. It just sounds like I'm on TV. Harvest-fest.org, and you can register tonight. Now there's about 48 of y'all on here now. Go now for the brunch. I only have we only have about 15 spots left, so you guys need to get those spots taken up tonight. Okay, so that's going fast.
So that should say only 9 seats left for the brunch because I'm one of the I'm one of the 10. So only 9 seats left.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a private. Okay, cool. All right, excellent.
Thank you.
Oh, hey, your sister's on here. Sister Compton.
Oh, Nene. Renee Compton. Hi.
She says she's registering, giving hers away. So there's somebody can get a free registration from Auntie Nene. Now there's 55 people on here. People are coming in. They're hearing about you. They're like, Cindy's on. They're hearing about you. I'm telling you, you're making my numbers go up, girl. Yeah, my numbers going up.
Well, here's the thing. Now I'm gonna say this, and I encourage everybody to register too, because Bishop, I get calls all the time and emails all the time. Can I come and shadow you? Can I bring you to my church? I'm gonna be in Saginaw. This is the perfect time. I mean, it's one thing to shadow me. You can't get all of that in a day of shadowing. So the workshop is gonna be the place to come and really get a lot of information. So I encourage everybody to register. It's a great small investment, but invest in yourself, because we are really looking to give out some incredible, invaluable information in the workshops.
Excellent. We got to pause for Robbie. She's here.
Hi, Robbie Lynn. All my sisters.
I know that is wonderful support. So again, go to harvest-fest.org. That's harvest-fest.org, and you can register. $49 for a double workshop, $59 for all three. You can be a part of that brunch. Seven secrets of successful harvesting. It's going to be great teaching. You're going to really enjoy it, and you'll have some food on your belly for the rest of the day. Now, listen, I want to get back to the faithfulness. So I was talking to one of our members a couple of days ago, and her anointing or gifting, 15 seats was left, so it's 14 now. I know I got a little small list in my older age, so it's like 15. Right. That teen came out the 10. So anyway, I checked in the back end. Oh, okay. So she knows more than I do. So whatever she said the number is, that's what the number is, because she knows better than me. Right.
Don't you oversell that and have to be looking for some chairs and seats.
Right. I was talking to one of our members the other day, and her gifting is service, ministry of helps. And so I was just sharing with her that there are some people who are born for that. I was in a hotel some years ago. I was doing this multi-level marketing thing, and we had one of these meetings, and so I was getting everybody to this meeting. So the lady who was cleaning the rooms came out and said, "Hey, we having this great meeting downstairs. You want to be a part of it?" She said, "No, thank you." I said, "Well, let me just explain what and just trying to give her my pitch, right? My elevator speech." And so I said, no, you can elevate your finances. You can get residual income. And that, she said, "Sir, I love what I do." She said, "If I was a millionaire, I still come clean these rooms because it's what I love to do. And I'm happy." I said, "Well, I left some stuff in there on the."
That being the case, bring me some extra towels.
Right. But the Holy Spirit spoke to me so quickly. He said, there are some people who absolutely, and what would the world be like if they didn't exist? Like, what would we do if nobody liked coming, nobody liked serving at the restaurant, nobody liked cleaning? What we would have? A mess. And so he said, you got to be able to appreciate people for their gifting. And so I was sharing with it, but I watched your life. I watched you sacrifice a dream, right? A plan. And then I watched God elevate you. And to this day, even as COO, but people didn't understand is you're still serving. You're not sitting somewhere. I know this firsthand. You're not sitting somewhere barking out orders. Like you are still walking the floors and still picking stuff up and still, Make sure things done, because when it's in you, it's in you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the difference between working and serving. It's a big difference. And we'll talk about that. We won't go into it tonight, but that's the difference. There's a huge difference between working and serving. And same thing, God bless me tomorrow to, with $100 million. I'm getting up and I'm going to be a perfecting church, still doing what I'm doing, still, because I love to serve, and serving is, getting ready for something, or just getting ready for Sundays, and you at the church and it's 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. You came in with the morning maintenance staff and you're still there with the evening maintenance staff because you just want things done right, and, the pastor is at home and it's not a matter of, well, where everybody at? I'm up here by myself. No, you're doing that because you want his job to be easy. I want you to be able to just walk in for Harvestfest, Bishop, and you just walk to the pulpit and go, because everything has been done. That's what servants do. Servants work so that, and I'm, at the end of the day, I understand, you're the one that's the greatest. He's the biggest servant, and you serve us. You serve the people. But still, it's our job to make your job so that all you do, your concern should be the things of the ministry. Preaching, taking care of those, counseling, all that's the job of the servants. And when you have a mentality of, I get it, that's what my job is to do. It speaks in the Old Testament about the people who served, and at the end of the day, they said, all we did was what we were supposed to do. That's what we're supposed to do. And so, because that's what I'm supposed to do, it's really called a thankless job. Because what's the big deal? Like, why do I get a parade? I've only done the things that I'm supposed to do.
That's amazing.
I don't need a parade.
I think that the reasonable service art is lost. The art of reasonable service, when the Bible talks about in Romans chapter 12 and verse 1 and verse 2, that it's our reasonable service. I think a lot of people, because of the entitled generation, we've raised a lot of people to feel like they need to be celebrated at every feat. They need to be congratulated, validated. People need so much affirmation. And that in the workplace now has become so difficult, because if you don't say I look nice today, if you don't make me feel good today, I go home feeling like you don't like me. So I got to deal with people saying, like, did I do something wrong? What do you mean? No, just keep. We've raised that kind of people. How do we as believers, and just think on how do we as believers deal with this generation that's coming into the church that can't take rebukes, corrections, even performance reviews. People cry at performance reviews.
Yes,
it's like
they do.
This is to help you. This is to make you better. Why you, baby, don't cry.
It goes back to that authentic piece, though. It's like, it's a conversation. It's sitting down saying again, okay, so how are you perfect? How do you get a perfect score? If you get a perfect score, that means there is no room. You can't improve at all.
At all, right.
I don't know that there's really, now you can get a great score, a high score, but perfect, that means you have maxed. So now we got to figure out someplace else for you to go, because you're perfect. Now, I don't know what it is like at Kingdom Life. I haven't quite gotten to that. I'm not even to that degree. You know what I'm saying? I don't consider myself perfect. There's always room for growth. But to your point, I mean, all I did was just so and so. And that's what and so how do you deal with that? It's a constant conversation. And and this is so funny, just had this conversation the other day with somebody, and I sent them back 3 times to do the same job. I said, now don't say nothing. Next, when we sit down, I don't want you to fall apart, because it's like that goes away. You'll remember this day. I done sent you back 3 times to do the one job that you have for today to do right. Now I want to hear, okay, you mean that day when that counts.
Right.
That counts on that's the difference between excellent and could use some improvement. Am I right?
Absolutely.
So, and that's the thing, it's like, come on, no one's perfect. So there's always room, but please don't forget this day. So constant communication, like, okay, now, so when this day comes around, that performance review, just remember this day, because this is three times you didn't have to go do that.
Now, a few years ago, Cindy, and I wish I had brought you up here then. We did a leadership weekend, rent a hotel out, got everybody place to stay, took the people out just for a training. And so I presented something, and they're gonna probably throw eggs at me now, but I presented this to my team, my core team. I said, I want us to start doing weekly checkups, monthly assessments, and quarterly reviews. I said, because people deserve to know how they're doing, and we don't want to get to a point where we have to let somebody go or sit somebody down, and they feel like, what did I do wrong? Because you never told them that, hey, you're not, like you said earlier. So I was told, I ain't gonna mention no names, I was told that was too much to have a weekly checkup, a monthly review, and a quarterly assessment. I said, yes, we need all three of those, because a person should know from week to week how things are going. In a month, you sit down and say, hey, this is how we got it. That way, I thought, this is what I thought. I thought that would put us in a position where we wouldn't have to go so long, and then get down to 6 months, feel like, oh, we ain't getting nothing done. But because we didn't know. So when you come, I hope you let these people know that I was right.
You're right. The bishop is always right. He's always right, people.
Right.
You're always right.
Okay. Let me just pause. Bishop Middleton is on here. Bishop Middleton, bless you, man of God. And he's commenting away. He said you're awesome, Cindy. So
thank you,
Middleton Jr. Thank you, Bishop Middleton. Love you guys so much. Listen, right? Somebody said corporate does it regularly. Absolutely, yeah. But see, sometimes the church. What I love about perfecting, and a lot of people in our core group know that I've modeled a lot of what we do after what I learned there the few years I was there. We always start on time. We cut the fat. All the extra we don't do. I learned to be early is to be on time, to be on time is to be late, and to be late is unacceptable. These are things that I learned while I was there and have never forgotten. I learned excellence is the standard, not the goal. I mean, this is stuff that I gained there.
Yeah, and you gained it because you was running services and had, like you said, you couldn't show up at 10:45 and you was over the service. So the first time you did that, you didn't do that no more. Yeah, absolutely.
No more. No.
Yeah.
And my best negotiating skills came from sitting in just a few meetings with Pastor, and or hitting him on the phone, being so. I mean, his ability to negotiate is just because he always felt like I can't lose, right? Like if you don't give this to me, it's fine. I'm not taking it at that price. I'm not taking it at that agreement. I'll leave.
Yeah.
Do you remember that time we was at Perfection and that lady was trying to sell us that church on Greenfield? And we walked out of the meeting.
We walked out, and she was so mad at him. She was so angry at him because his thing was, he said, you ain't pay that much for this bill. I know how much you paid. He said, I don't mind you making money, but you ain't gonna make that much money. And we left. You are absolutely right. And we was like, but you do know we ain't got a building, right? But he was right. And she called back and said, what you want to pay for the building? And his thing, well, all right, now we can talk about it. But his philosophy is there's always a better deal.
I love it. I love it. Y'all hear that? There's always a better deal. And I remember that day so vividly because I was one of the laggers. Like, because I was trying to figure out, was we really getting up?
Right. We was like, would you come out of here when this meeting is over? When you was looking like, because I guess you was like, yeah, but we ain't got the building. And we was
Right.
come out of here. You was about to stand true. I guess talk to the lady. We was looking at you. If you don't come out this room.
But I don't know what I was gonna do. He said, would you get your coat? I'm trying to figure out, is it really over?
But
let me tell you this. And then I remember when I first got my first building in Detroit. So I called Pastor and I said, okay, so you know, I got a building, I want you to see it. He said, let's go see it. So we was at the Greenfield building. So I went downstairs to call the guy so I could tell him we was on our way. I had my little quarter because we had that phone downstairs. He said, where you going? I said, I'm gonna call a preacher. He said, get in the car. That's we had that Jag. He had his phone in the car. He said, Dollar Man.
Okay.
So we called the guy. We meet him over there. We get there, and you remember that church was so small. It was a house turned into a church.
With that in
So
that front.
He said, how much you gonna charge him? He said, $650 a month. This is back in the early 90s, like 91. Mm-hmm. He said, $650. He said, I thought you was gonna get him this.
Basically.
He said, this a house. This ain't even a whole church, baby. When he left that negotiation, I was paying $250.
Hello.
When he got through. And
hello.
So that level of negotiation, I think, is one of my greatest takeaways from my time at Perfecting. I want y'all to know that this coming Saturday, we're talking now, and I'm talking so I can stay away from these subjects, but not these subjects. These subjects are so hot, y'all.
But again, having that, and I'll keep pressing this, but having your leader spirit, right? So over years, you know, you the opportunity to sit in those kind of meetings, to learn, to hear. I would get so irritated with Pastor because I figure like I made a good deal. Especially ain't gonna get a better. He said it's always a better deal, and he will call and just tear my little stuff up. He would get a better deal. But what I had to learn is it wasn't a competition, right? Don't get angry, learn. And so I sat and I would listen to him on the telephone. I'm listening to his approach to it. So now, you know, he'd be like, she's worse than me. Like she gonna get a better deal than I could because I sat and I learned from my leader instead of getting angry, like, you know, and, you know, because if you feel like, you know, they're always correcting you, then you can't receive and you can't learn the lesson. So I learned the lesson.
Now, see, that's a Selah moment because a lot of times people feel like, you know, you're picking at me or you're always tearing apart what I'm trying to do, and they don't realize that watch the Karate Kid. Okay, everybody should watch that movie because you wipe on, wipe off. You understand that it's never against you. It's always to perfect the gift that you have, and if you're not teachable, you can't grow. And so I think a lot of times people take it personal. And Pastor Juan Pastor Juan he's a wonderful teacher because what he's not going to do is get your emotions with you. And so there were times I was trying to, you know, figure things out and catch up with stuff, and it was point blank. But I wanted it, so I'm like, if it takes cutting, go ahead and cut. I'll bleed out, stitch it up, and we're gonna keep on moving because you can never become perfected without some sharpening. So
that's right.
I hope y'all listen.
That's right.
I hope y'all listening out there. She is moving in the level of excellence she is today because she listened and learned the lesson. Now on Saturday, October the 7th, you don't want to miss it. I want you to be in the building. There's room for you to register for the two sessions rather, for $49. There's only 10 seats left for the Bishop's brunch. You could add $10 to that registration and come to the brunch as well. Now it's 9 seats. Somebody done took one since we've been on here. So it's 9 seats left for that. I want you guys to go ahead and register, get in there. I'm going to be in Cindy's session, and she has a wonderful idea. Not going to tell you all about it, but I thought it was a brilliant idea. So you're going to really enjoy the way this session is set up. It's going to bless your life. It'll be in our main sanctuary because the other rooms are too small. So we're going to be in the main sanctuary. It's gonna be wonderful. People from 9, 10 states are gonna be here. They're all registered, ready to go. It's just gonna be
Wow.
wonderful. So now, what I'm trying to do, y'all, and I need y'all in this comment section to help me. What I'm trying to do, is I can't make her no staple, but I can make her a clip pen. Not a staple? What's that? Paper clip. I can make her a paper clip. Yes, I want her to come back. So,
Well, I thought,
so Pastor Hunter,
I was kind of shocked when I got my invitation to come this year, because last year when I couldn't come and I asked my brother Lawrence Robinson to come and do the class on my, I said, because he ain't no joke, and I told him I said, now don't steal my gig. I said, you're gonna get there and they're gonna learn and they're gonna love you so much. Bishop Alberta's gonna be like, Cindy, that's okay. We got Bishop, we got Brother Robinson. He gonna come back again.
let me tell you, he was absolutely phenomenal. I won't take nothing from him. He was phenomenal. The people loved him. He was, his presentation was so right to the heart. But I'm gonna tell you, there's only one Cindy Flowers, and I at any point would take, when I call you the Oprah of our family, it's only because she's a noted person. But she should be called the Cindy of their family.
Oh, wow.
That's how I feel about it. Because see, I have a personal experience. I have up close experience. I've watched it, right? I've watched you behind the scenes. I've watched you heal people. I've watched you raise people up. I've watched you give. I remember times we talked in the office on Greenfield when you was facing some of the very toughest trials. People don't even know what you face behind the scenes because you never took it to the people. You never took it outside their office. You never took it to the meetings. Whatever you were feeling and going through, your growth spurts, you kept those things under wrap and you did your job and you did it well. And I remember the load you were under at times, but you walked in there with your shoulders squared, head high, and you took care of business. And here you are today, all over the world. I'll be watching on Facebook. I'll be like, now she in Greece, now she in Hong Kong, now she in Japan. Now she
Have not been to Hong Kong or Japan. I want to go, but I have not. You ain't seen those posts yet. That was somebody else's Facebook page.
I love, but you also work along with BB Winans,
yes.
and can you say a little bit about that? Just a little bit.
Yes. So again, the reward of doing a good job is another job. So about a year ago, BB came and said, Cindy, I need you. I'm like, what do you need me for? I'm like, he said, I need you to start managing my dates. I was like, BB, would you like to see my calendar? Would you like to see my desk? I'm just a little busy, And so he was, but again, his thing was, Cindy, I can't, I need you. He was like, just bottom line, he was like, I just need you. And so, of course, I want to talk to Pastor about it. And, brothers are brothers. He was like, ain't nobody think about me.
Right.
He was like, I ain't anybody think about BB. But the deal we cut was, of course, my priority is perfecting and all of the 10,000 things that are attached to perfecting. Of course, that comes first. And then the second thing I had a conversation, and number two was, the conversation with BB is there is a difference between managing you and being your assistant. Can't be your assistant. No, you got to find you an assistant. It's a whole different job. So we still to this day have those conversations. You have to remind people. But
right.
So that's how that came about, managing. And then, but I'll say this, and again, we'll talk about this on Saturday too. The only way that I'm able to do that, and all the things that's on my list is you have to become selfless in that you are willing to, pour your knowledge and what share that with others so that things don't only run if you're the only one that can do it. If I'm the only one that can make things work at perfecting and all the other, then I failed, because that means the buck stops with me. And so you have to be, sometimes we like to hold on to stuff because if only I know it, then only I can do it, and only I can get the credit for it. So, you can't, you have to become selfless, and you have to want others to learn and to grow too, so that, I can, be in Africa with BB, or, be in Europe, with Pastor Winans, or wherever, other places call. That's the only way I could do that. You have to be selfless.
I love that. Let me just kind of harp on that last point, and I won't beat it, but I want to harp on it because I experienced this talking to pastors across the U.S. About having people who are able to reproduce themselves or make replicas of themselves. Paul says to Timothy like this. He says, "I want you to keep the gospel that I committed to you, and then I want you to take this and commit it to other faithful men who will do the same." Right. Only way for real growth is when people share and then delegate and disciple others, so that you can really have that worldwide ministry that you guys have. I mean, people they all and they love to see the 1,000 people come in, all the wide reach, but you can't get that reach if you have small-minded people who don't understand the art of delegation. Like, listen, train somebody.
But can't nobody else do my job but me. Well, maybe one person can't do your job, like, and I'm being funny in my case, but maybe it takes 3 or 4 people to do your job. So maybe not one person can do your job, but 2, 3, 4 people can do your job, So put them 4 people in place and keep it moving.
And because our desire here is do some great things. Let me wrap up, because I want to ask some other like fun questions. Like, I want to know, I mean, I kind of know, but I don't all the way know some of the people that you've been able to meet during your tenure at Perfecting. And so if sometimes it's uncomfortable to talk about because people think you're trying to brag, but I want to dig into that, because I've seen some pictures of some people.
So
I think it's.
I'll start with my spiritual heroes. Okay, number 1, Bishop Paul Morton, who's coming Thursday night for Harvest Fest. I have been a fan of Bishop Paul Morton back to when I first heard him back in Azusa, like when Bishop Pearson had him there years ago. I remember him preaching at Azusa, and I was like, it was like I was like at a Michael Jackson concert. I was screaming like, "Who is this man?" And I remember calling home saying, "Pastor, this guy preached, his name was Bishop Paul Morton." He was like, "Cindy, we've been knowing the Mortons for years." I'm like, "You know him? Like, can I say hi to him?" I mean, I've been a Bishop Morton fan forever. To this day, Bishop Morton there, I'm like, where can I don't care if I'm sitting in the back. I'm coming to hear Bishop Morton. So I've gotten, of course, but then you have like your Bishop Tudor Bismarcks, your Mensa Odobo, Dr. Mensa Odobos, Bishop Jakes, of course. I mean, those are all just, who you consider just, spiritual giants.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
then on this, yes. I mean, Bishop Alvernus Johnson. Come on, spiritual giant. I get the chance to say that I know him. Like, hey, I got spiritual street credit. Okay.
Wow.
But
Rochelle,
then,
I was telling Rochelle to grab that comment. That's funny to me. She probably saw it right there.
That is so, okay. Sure. The Ray sisters, come on. Yeah, I mean, just to be able to sit in rooms and not even sit, but just, you're in and out, because again, and we'll talk about this again on Saturday, you're where you belong in the room with these people and where you don't belong in the room with these people. You know what I'm saying? Just because you work in a church, you don't get to sit in every room. You don't. You disappear. You should be the wallpaper. You know what I'm saying? They should say, wow, honestly, most of the relationships I've developed, Bishop, over the years, is from people who, you know, when they came back the second time said, you know, they noticed me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm out of the way. I'm out of the space, you know. And then a question was asked, you know, who's the young lady that works for you? Because you're trying to be out of the way because you don't belong in every room. You just don't. So, but again, we'll
let me
talk
jump
about
in
that
and
on
say
Saturday.
this. Before you tell us the sector of people that you've met, let me say this so people can know why I enjoy talking to you so much. Because see, I grew up with Cindy, so people who know her now, I'm one of them people that be like, I know, I hear you, but I know Cindy. That's how I feel. Because
That's right.
let me tell you about her. She has never been the kind of person that was easily impressed. So she's not a groupie. She's not a I need to be in the front. I need to be seen. Never. She would have to be forced to be in the front because that wasn't her thing. I don't have to know you. I don't have to be seen by you. I don't need just a person who just does her job and does actually blend. So when you hear her talk about these opportunities, it's not because she pursued those opportunities, it's because they found her. Even working at Perfecting, Pastor found her. It wasn't an application process and knocking on the door. Can I work for you? It was like he came. And then let me tell you the next big thing. I'm kind of getting off script here, but I'm gonna say this. I remember the day when Cindy called me phone, like it's another way to call, on the phone, and said, she said, Pastor wants to see you. Y'all don't even understand what happened in my physical body. It's like I felt stuff moving. I'm like, huh? She said, yeah, he want to see you and Anton. Come to the office. So for me, growing up on the Winans in that era, having my sister work for them was already big because now I'm one person away. Like it's usually 6. Now I'm one person away. And so when I get in the office, Pastor's actually talking to me. I'm actually looking at Marvin Winans, and he don't even know how blessed I am by his ministry because that was in the straight my life out days. Megan, right? Turn my dark into night. That was them days. You know, that the songs that hit your spirit, man. You just had the restorations finally come. This is a man that did all that. I'm sitting there not hearing nothing he's saying because I'm just looking.
Wow. You don't even remember that first meeting.
Huh?
I see you don't even remember that first meeting.
Few things that I can, but for the most part, I was just like this. I am, and I got out of there, and all I wanted to do was tell people, I just left. I'm talking to mom. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. But we had cell phones back then, so wasn't no selfies. I couldn't do no pictures.
Right.
But
yeah,
I want you to know
funny.
that it's never been her pursuit because Cindy has always been a no nonsense individual, and I love that. I've needed her so many times in my life personally to be authentic, like she said earlier. I can ask her something and know I'm going to get a real answer. She's never going to fluff. She's never going to lie. Even her and Nanny, they just both the same. Even if it hurts your feelings, they're not trying to, but they're going to tell you the truth. They're just going to tell you. But that's how Mama Hattie was. Their mama is just, they came from that. Just the truth. It's the truth, baby. Take that off. You don't look right. All right.
Yeah.
We're not going to do it today.
Yeah.
So who else have you met?
Oh, so I met a whole lot, like I said, but now I'm gonna tell you who I just became a statue. Like I couldn't talk, and that was Denzel Washington. Like we were on his private plane flying from New York to Atlanta, and I was in the corner, and I just was sitting in the corner like this the whole time. I couldn't talk to him, and BB was so tickled. He was like, Cindy. He was like, come over here. I was like, I'm not coming over. He came over to the couch where I was sitting. He said, would you come? I said, no, I'm not coming over there. I said, because all I knew for me, like my person, I saw a whole nother Cindy that I'd never seen before. And I saw her acting a complete fool on that plane and them like landing, like get her off. I was like, BB, when it comes to Denzel, I go from 0 to 100. This is over in this corner. This is me embarrassing you on this plane. So I'm staying right in this corner.
Wow.
I couldn't be near him. It was just he's just way too much. I just couldn't. I just couldn't.
How was the meeting Oprah?
She's so nice. So meeting Oprah was like talking to your auntie. You know what I'm saying? Wow. She's the grab your hand, and you know how some people they'll ask you a question, but they're not. So you got your quick answer ready because you know that they're really not listening to your answer. No, who is Cindy? Tell me about Cindy. And if I'm I just work at Perfect. No, she was one of the most kindest and most genuine persons that I've met. Meeting Maya Angelou, just same thing.
I don't know what my heart would have done. I've admired her writings for so long. She was like everybody's mother.
Yes.
Listen to her voice and her tones. Now that would have stopped me. I couldn't have done it around her.
Yeah, I just told her, I was like, I'm just honored to meet you. And I really don't have anything to say. I just want to listen to whatever you want to say. What I'm gonna say to Maya Angelou.
Right.
Yeah, I just want to listen.
Ladies. Oh, thank you, Butler.
Oh, thank you, Carrick. Thank you.
Carrick. Sorry, Carrick. I tried.
What did you say?
Kendrick. I tried.
That's Carrick, the first organist at Perfecting. Remember Carrick?
Wow. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what that was. Carrick.
Get out of here. Hey, man. Bless you. So you've been listening to myself and Cindy for the last hour and 12 minutes. We are so Andre Healy. Let me stop and say he on you.
Hey, Elder Healy.
Bless you, man of God.
Bishop Carrick Butler has a television network, a streaming television network, and he needs to stream your conference on his network. He'll do that too for free.
Tell me. Okay. Did you hear what she said?
Yes, he will.
Would you, Rochelle? Okay. Do me a favor, Butler. Reach out to us. Let's.
I'll give Rochelle his number, and he will stream your conference.
He said, "Yes, I will." There it is.
See there.
Okay. Do y'all see how God? I told y'all my sister was not a joke. Listen. Ain't no French fries here. She the whole potato. Y'all okay?
You are so funny.
You've been listening to us talk about the workshop. Now, last year we did Faithful in Another Man's Work or a Successful Stewardship, because we wanted people to understand the connection between your giftings and your men of God and how those things work. And Cindy is the one that came up with the idea that the pastors would come into the workshop and actually lay hands and pray over the attendees. And so her heart is always for impartation from the man of God. She's lived this. I've watched her live it. She's about making sure the man of God and that vision goes to pass. Everybody. Now she's not presumptuous. But this year I'm gonna ask her to pray a prayer for y'all, because here's the bottom line: for 34 years. God has favored her to do this, and not just do it, but do it well. And I want our people, and I'm so glad y'all on here. I saw y'all comments. I'm glad you guys are connecting. All of our administrators, all of our leaders are required to be in that course. So I mean, that's whatever you're doing, you will stop what you're doing. We all sit down. Okay. Hey, Pastor Armstead. Glad to have you here.
Hey, Pastor Armstead.
Now bring all y'all people. I told every pastor that I have, I said, bring all of your admin.
Yes.
Last year we had sponsors, and they were able to sponsor and bring up to 10 people from their staff. You want to get your staff in this course.
Yeah.
You want them to hear what was going to be spoken. It's really like an intensive. It's a master class. It's interactive. You're going to love what you see. Trust me, you're going to love how it feels. And when you leave here, you're going to be fired up to make sure you get with your pastor's vision and help push it to the next level. All right.
The question of how do I get a Cindy? How do I get a you? Come to the workshop Saturday. We're going to talk about it.
To the workshop. And I can't tell you how many times Chantel and I have talked about that whole concept and how we admire how God made that connection. There's a message I preached years ago called "Send Me a Timothy." So somebody who will actually give their life. And I let me just say this because I'm saying a lot of things here, but I want to be clear, because I don't want any misunderstandings. God has blessed us with some incredible staff, and so when I say this, I'm not saying it like I don't have it.
Sure.
We have a great staff here. I could start naming names, but I won't. But there are people who've stuck with us from the very beginning, and I've always said that because I saw that perfectly. I said, Lord, I know members come and go, but I want my staff. And I can tell you right now, the people that started with me 24 years ago are here. And that says
that's a blessing. It does. That says a lot.
And so, but anyway, but my staff respects you because I talk about you. Okay, can 5 of y'all tell her it's all the time? I mean, I don't want her to think I'm just saying this. How often do I talk about Cindy Flowers in this church? Rochelle, Michelle, Javidia, talk back. Simona, talk back. Tell them, Lisa, tell them what I be saying, because you have become an example and an aunt to them that they don't even know. Like they haven't seen you, but they know your works because
Nina Harris says all the time. Chantel says often.
It's a part of my experience. Oh, wow, I love that, Cheryl. She said, how do I get a Cindy ability to get the answer? Look, Rochelle, put Rochelle's up, our weekly executive meeting. I'm telling you. And that's no exaggeration. That's no exaggeration, because you've impacted our lives in that way. That your example of servitude, your example of commitment, faithfulness, diligence, and perseverance is par excellent. I mean, and I know that we have room for improvement. I understand that. But when I tell you there's no great example we have in Michigan, in the United States, and we can reach out to you and have you here, we're honored. When my nephew told me a little while ago, said he wanted to have you at his church, Jeremy Mosley, I almost said no, because you hadn't come here. I almost said, you're trying to one up me, boy. But I stayed in my lane. I was like, okay, you can share, but you need to know, you need to understand. And so when you called me and talked to me, I called him and said, guess who I just hung up with? I said, Cindy Flowers. He called me and told me you did all right. But in all sincerity, I respect you highly, and I'm excited to have you this year at Harvest Fest. And if y'all act right, that's the money. Someone said, yes, he speaks of your excellence all the time, and I'm looking forward to your workshop. And so if y'all act right, we can get her as a paperclip. Now, I will say staple, but I know that ain't going to happen because she's busy. But maybe we can get a part 2 and 3 and, every other year or something, because as our staff grows and church grows, I want her to be able to impart. So thank you, Cindy, for taking your time out. Any other words you want to give before you leave?
Only that I look forward to being there on Saturday. I'm looking forward, of course, to the brunch too, prior to the class. But it's so much in my heart that I don't get a chance to just sit down and give some practical applications and just some real heartfelt stuff that we're going to share on Saturday, and stuff that just make you walk away and go, wow, I had never thought about that. So I am encouraging, it's not about just a church administration. This is about servant leadership. So whatever capacity in ministry that you serve in, from associate pastor down to what we call them, our building and engineers, who are so critical to what we do every day as far as ministry is concerned, you should be there. This is, it's all about what's in your heart and making your church the best church in the world. So whatever facet of ministry you serve in, you should be there on Saturday, because we're going to talk about, it's going to hit you in whatever level you are operating in. So you should be there on Saturday. I'm looking forward to it. I'm so excited. I'm praying. I'm asking God to just, download in me so that I can give it out to you. So I'm really excited about being there on Saturday. I don't want to bomb. I don't want to bomb, because if I bomb, again, that authentic part over there on this screen over here, He gonna be like, Lord, I thought I wanted Cindy, but she crashed and burned. So y'all pray for me so that Saturday is a success.
We all know that's not likely. But let me say this: last year, the pastors wanted to be in there, so we have pastors going to be attending that session as well.
Wonderful, because pastors, you know, what you
so they can thank you again for joining us tonight. I love you so very much, and I can't wait to see you on this week.
I love you too. I'm so excited. Can't wait to see you and Lady Chantel and all of my nieces and nephews who I love so much and haven't seen. Praise the Lord.
Time for Harvestfest 2023 with Bishop Alvernis L. Johnson and Kingdom Life Ministries, 310 South Jefferson Avenue, Saginaw. The conference kicks off Wednesday, October 4th at 7 p.m. with the Episcopal Celebration Service featuring Bishop Don W. Shelby Jr., jurisdictional prelate.
I ain't gonna lose like this. If I lose, I'm gonna lose fighting. If I lose, I'm gonna lose giving it everything I got. But the devil is a liar, because no weapon that's formed against me be able to prosper. And every I said every I said every tongue that rises against me, loose your hold, devil. You ain't got no play here. Loose your hold, devil. You ain't getting free rent in my mind. Get out of my head. Get out of my thoughts. Get out of my heart. Satan, the Lord rebuke you.
Thursday, October 5th, 8 a.m. Morning Glory. 1 p.m. Speaker, Apostle Cynthia Thompson.
It was not just another meeting to be a meeting. God said, but I was gathering people into a summit. I brought you here for an ascension, because when you leave out of this particular service and this meeting, you're going home to build. Say build. You're going home. Oh, I hear the Lord say there are several of you in here today. Even right now, you are at one more push, and what's in you are about to come forth. And that's why God said you are already in the labor room. Say the labor room. God said this is a labor room, and I drew you here to get you in position, to get stuff out of your heart, to get stuff that's been blocking your mind from thinking of higher things. God said, I'm turning up the frequency. I'm causing you to hear from another dimension, because what you are carrying is too valuable in this season. He said, I made you leave from people who tried to abort your baby, abort your purpose. He says, but this is the season where I'm activating. Say activate. The Lord said there is a spirit in here today to activate everybody in this place.
At 7 p.m., celebrate with Bishop Paul S. Morton Sr.
But one day I heard the voice of Jesus say, come unto me and rest, lay down, thy weary one, lay down. Thy head upon that rest. Some of y'all remember, you know what I'm talking about. I came to teach till the battle is over.
On Friday, October 6th, the celebration continues at 8 a.m. for Morning Glory. 1 p.m., Apostle James Glenn. At 7 p.m., it's the Harvest Night Prophetic Flow featuring KLM Praise Team and guests. Saturday, October 7th, 10 a.m. Brunch with the Bishop. 12 noon workshop series. Each requires registration at harvest-fest.org to register. Sunday, 9:45 a.m., closeout t-shirt service featuring Bishop Alvernis L. Johnson, conference host.
Shout it right now. I'm not concerned about the future. I'm not concerned about tomorrow. Who even knows about tomorrow? It's not promised to me. But right now, I will maximize on the anointing that I feel. Right now, I'm going to soak up everything that God's pouring out. Shout it right now. Shout it right now.
All services held at Kingdom Life Ministries, 310 South Jefferson Avenue, Saginaw. Bishop Alvernis L. Johnson, host pastor.
Amen. Amen, my dear friends. I'm so glad that you all stuck with us tonight. Didn't you enjoy Cindy Flowers? An amazing interview, amazing fellowship together. I want you to make sure that you get in and get in now. I want you to make sure that you register for those workshops. It's going to be a fantastic time in the Lord. You don't want to miss the workshops. $49. You can get both workshops for $49. Now, I want you to do that as soon as possible. Registration will close soon, so I want you to get in now. For $59, you can join the Bishop's Brunch. That means there's only 8 seats left for that, but you can have all 3 sessions. You can be in the 7 Mountain Mandate session. You can be in Cindy Flowers session, and you can have brunch with the Bishop, which is me, with the Bishop on that morning. My computer died, so guys, I'm on my phone now, and trying to look the right way. Look like I'm looking away from you guys, so I'll try this. Anyway, you want to be in that brunch. $10 extra, you can have that added to your admission. All right, so I love you. I'm not gonna keep you on here all night. We had a great night. I will see you tomorrow for the last day countdown, the Harvestfest 2023. This conference is going to be spectacular. All right, see you in a few days. God bless.